Right. Well, welcome everybody to the Link&Learn series from the Greater Northampton Chamber of Commerce. This series is brought to us by Florence Bank. They believe that an educated community is a happy and you know, informed community. And with Gateway Fiber, who's one of our investors, has been new to the community coming from out of state, but really making their way in Massachusetts and growing community with us. So being able to have this event today and have Gateway explain a little bit about what they do and how they do it and how they the difference between fiber and regular internet and all of those things will be kind of discussed here. And I'd like to pass it over to Amanda Lambert, who is part of their marketing team and has worked closely with the chamber since she got on board.
Well, good, everybody. I won't be speaking too long. I'm just here to hand it over to Jim Beach. He is our go-to sales guy, and he will talk a little bit more about Gateway Fiber.
Thanks, Amanda. I hope everybody's doing great today. I'm joining you live from the Sunshine Capital of the United States in Minnesota. And I know that I'm speaking to the oh-so tropical Western Mass, so Central Mass, excuse me. So we've got sunshine and happiness that we share. And I know the rest of the country is so very, very concerned that they don't get to enjoy our weather too. So as introduced, I am the sales director for Gateway Fiber in Massachusetts. So I get to Massachusetts, I don't know, probably every 6 or 7 weeks. I enjoy my time when I come to the East Coast. I'm originally born and bred in Syracuse, New York. So I do love the Northeast. I moved to Minnesota 20 plus years ago. I blame my wife every single winter. The other piece of that is that she was here and she forced us to stay here and be here. So it is a thing. What I'm here to talk about is Gateway Fiber, fiber internet, the difference between fiber and, as Katie wonderfully put it, regular internet, which is great. We are not regular internet. We put internet on steroids, as it were. I've been with Gateway for just under 2 years. I've been in this business for 20 plus, and it's amazing the changes. I think that all of us can remember the modems that used to come inside our computers, the screeching and the squealing and the whistling and all that to get what we would love to see was 28 kilobytes per second, which would allow us to, anything over a phone call was probably going to be garbled. And then as internet kind of moved forward, and it's moved forward rapidly, very, very rapidly, we got into some of the higher speeds, so to speak. I think I remember Roadrunner was a thing in New York, and they were coming out with blazing fast 6 megs per second. And then I say that, tongue in cheek today, because really the introductory speeds that we have on the residential side is actually 300 megs per second. And then on the business side, the introductory speed is 600 megs per second. So quite a big jump, and really in a very short period of time. If anyone didn't see the news, I think it was just a couple of weeks that the old AOL has finally kind of called it quits, which was You've Got Mail, made famous by them, and also to Tom Hanks and I'm blanking on her name. Well, Meg Ryan. Thank you. Saw that, Jennifer. Appreciate it. So we're gonna go forward here. Here we are. Oh, look at that picture. That's just this. These are the times that you wish that the internet was not as good as it is. But we're gonna go through a couple of different things. I think the challenge with cable is probably a little bit better positioned, and then kind of go into how fiber internet works. Meet Gateway Fiber. Well, that's us, and I do see quite a few members of our team. And then, the ever popular is fiber in my neighborhood. And then, we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. I do love talking about internet. I love talking about gateway fiber. So it's be happy to share any knowledge that I have. And if I need to, I'll call on to a member of the community. We'll see what kind of a lifeline I've got out there. All right. So the problem with cable, or the challenge with cable, and then here in the gray, slow, pricey, and stuck in the past. So I know that a lot of us ventured into high-speed internet through our wonderful cable providers, and it was coax cable, the coax that comes in. So that's the black cord or cable that you see running into your house, and it's got a black jacket wrapped around. I'm not sure what the name of the plastic is, polystyrene or poly something, and inside that is a copper cable, maybe with a little bit of petroleum jelly. Or the problem with that is that really, as we send data across greater distances, and we to do that with a lot of neighborhoods, the copper can kind of lose its signal, so to speak. So, and then if anyone has ever been in a residence and you've had cable TV, and then all of a sudden, right around 3:30 till about 7, seems to be that stuff kind of really, really slows down. And the issue with that is because the way that cable was built and into neighborhoods is that everybody kind of shares a whole big connection that comes in and does a huge circle around the neighborhood. So kids get out of school 3:30, really starts to slow down because they're jumping on and they're doing, today it's Roblox and others. And I know that there are gamers and PS5s and Xboxes and computers and laptops and tablets and oh my. So everything's just jumping on at the same time, and it's kind of pulling away from that signal. Think of a faucet for those us that recall when you turn on the, if you were parent, I remember growing up, my parents were taking a shower. Oh, don't you dare turn on any water anywhere in the house, because they're just going to get scalded with hot water, or vice versa. If you're pulling out hot water, they're going to freeze them out. So, and that's very similar, kind of a very similar piece with internet signal. The more you pull on it, the more people that are pulling on it, the slower it's going to be as it goes out. Internet. So continuing with the cable piece, it even works most of the time. And the great thing about it is, I think I've heard this with so many customers that I've gotten a chance to speak to, is that, when it works great. And it's kind of a interesting statement. We allow ourselves. I remember when I was actually worked for Comcast Xfinity. And I was a manager, and we had a team of folks going on around knocking on doors. And I remember when we knocked on one door, and it was an elderly woman answered, and kind of asked her what she was doing for internet. And at that time, she said that she was doing it through the phone company, which was DSL. And we asked her, what do you use the internet for, if she was doing any streaming? This was probably like 10 years ago. So, Netflix was still a big, big thing. And she did say that she said she loves Netflix. Loves to watch Netflix all the time. So he says, great. Well, as you're watching a show, did you ever get that circle that comes up on the TV that says buffering? She goes, oh, I get that all the time. So I was with a brand new representative, and this representative, she was great, jumped right in. She goes, we can actually help eliminate that so that your shows just continue. And this woman looked, she goes, oh, I don't know. I know that when that circle comes up, that gives me time to go get tea or go to the bathroom, and I'll have a minute before the show starts again. So she says, I kind of use that as my own commercial break. And at that point in time, we just said, we appreciate your time, and we walked away. So it was nothing we could do to combat that. But that's the whole piece that I was talking about is from before, is that because she was in a particular neighborhood, or in a neighborhood, certain periods of the day, the internet would not be what was in the very early morning. It would slow down because there were so many people on basically using the same network. So as it says, neighbors are hogging your bandwidth. And then the other piece is the surprising rate hikes, or as I like to call them, customer loyalty fees. Annually, folks that are with a lot of the companies that we compete against every year, they get that letter that says, due to rising costs or due to this, that, the other thing, we are, sorry to say that, your bill next month will be another $3 or another $5. And that happens on an annual basis. And that kind of hurts. I mean, especially, these days with, budgetary concerns are, I think, for everybody. You've got to make sure you know where your money's going. And if you set aside a certain amount of cash dollars out of your budget for internet service, for that to keep escalating and escalating and escalating, well, that kind of really pulls it back from what you're able to get and enjoy. And then, unfortunately, when those rate hikes do show up, it's amazing. We're all kind of versed in having to sit down on Saturday morning or Friday afternoon or whatever the case may be. So I've got to call my internet provider and complain about that my bill went up and see what we can do, threaten to cancel. They'll give me a better rate. They lock me in again for another year, and then I'm good to go for a year. And then, next year comes along, I get that same letter, and the cycle just continues and continues and continues. And then the ever popular calling into a toll-free number. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Speak. If you need a representative, say representative. Really after about 3-4 minutes, you end up yelling into the phone for a representative, and you still get that computer that's arguing with you. As it says, customer service really not their forte. I think that we've all been in a business long enough, or in and around. We survey out there called NPS, which is Net Provider Score, or Net Promoter Score, excuse me. And really what that is everything we do today, anytime I do a transaction with any kind of store, service, company, as soon as that bill gets paid, I instantly get an email or a text that says, would you be interested in participating in a survey? Or they warn you about it. Hey, at the end of this call, you may be asked to participate in a survey. Would you be willing? And it's like, no, yes, whatever the case may be. Well, then they're asking you questions. How would you recommend our service to your friends and neighbors? That's really what a promoter is. And unfortunately, what we hear most of the time is that, and it's anywhere from a 0 to 100 is the scoring mechanism. Typically, cable companies or other internet providers generally have averages in the score of 15 minus 20 is their average score for net promoter. Their customers or people that have done business with them are ranking them a 10 out of 100 or minus 20 out of 100. So probably not the benchmark that you want to achieve. Historically, Gateway has, and I believe, I haven't checked it in a couple of months, but I believe that our net promoter score has been averaging in the 70s and 80s. Amanda, I'm going to rely on you. You probably know that a little bit more. So that means that realistically 70 to 80%, 70 to 80 score from our customers and what we do, how we do, and how we treat them. And then the last piece here is hidden fees, additional charges, motor rental. Hey, by the way, yes, you're getting 1 gig internet. We want you to really, really use it, but you went past your allotted data use. I think that's terabyte is the benchmark currently with our cable friends. And a terabyte sounds like a lot, right? I mean, the word itself, terabyte, oh man, that's a whole lot, but it's not. We're all doing 4K streaming. We're doing gaming. Our kids are on. We're on. The pandemic showed us that everybody could work from home and be just as productive, if not more productive, working from the house. And what that means is that you're online all day, every day. So terabyte becomes really, really small very, very quickly. And we're providing, you're getting the speeds and the bandwidth availability so you can get to a terabyte really easy. I do recall a commercial, and I'm probably dating myself, but when the high-speed internet first came out, then I'm talking about the 6 to 10 megs per second, I do recall a commercial for that. And it showed a customer that just got their high-speed internet installed and showed a gentleman going into the den or his office and then coming back out like 10 minutes later. And his wife turned to him and says, I thought you were surfing the internet. He just looked and he goes, I finished it. So, I mean, that was their tagline. I finished the internet. Well, that's because we're so anxious and pulling down as much information as we possibly can. So, like I say, our cable friends do have fees if you go over a terabyte of data, and then you pay for each gig after that. Modem rental fees, and the problem when you're renting equipment, there's also taxes and surcharges based on that. So again, there's just fees that show up. Not really sure what they're for or why they're there, but I have to pay. So fiber versus cable. One of the biggest thing is symmetrical download and upload. So what does that mean? So when we first all were introduced to the internet, we were pulling down information like crazy. Everything was coming to us. We were going to websites, grabbing information. We were going to and even watching shows. That all pulls data from the cloud or from the internet. But what 2020 has shown us is that we need just as much data and connectivity to send information. So like right now, all of us are sharing video. I'm sharing voice. That's sending information up to the cloud so that you all can pull it down and view it. But your computers or tablets that you're working on, you're also sending a great deal of data right now because you're sending video, you're sending pictures, and you're sending voice. So the upload speeds are becoming much more critical to our enjoyment of the internet service. So utilizing Zoom, utilizing Teams, any kind of conference calls, we need to be able to send a lot of data. So that's where having the same download speed as you do upload speed is really critical, especially in a business sense and for homeowners. Homeowners, as we know, I mean, I myself am a PS5 gamer, so I know that I am sending data like crazy. I have a 21-year-old daughter. She still lives in a house. Can't imagine when she's leaving, and I'm good with that. I know she's home. I know she's safe, and I know, hey, look, it's my data. If I can still go in and turn it off on her on that. And I've done that just to test and see if it works. The screams that you hear from the other room are fantastic. It's just amazing that the internet's been shut down. So like I say, upload download speeds are the same with gateway fiber, whereas with cable providers, that's not the same. You could get 1 gig down from cable, and the upload speed, I believe, last time I checked, was like 30 to 40 megs per second. That's a big difference because a gig, you're looking at 940 megs up and down, whereas on the cable side of it, you may get 940 to 1,000 megs download, but upload it's 30 to 40 megs per second, and that's a big difference. Especially as I say, we're using Teams or we're using Zoom calls. No data caps and no speed throttling. We don't have a data cap. If you're buying a gig's worth of internet from us every single month, we want you to use that gig. We want you to pull down as much as you possibly can. We want you to use it till your heart's content. You can finish the internet if you'd like to. And we don't have any throttling whatsoever. And we'll go into some a little bit, but the difference why is because when we provide service to our customers, everyone gets their fiber circuit. It comes right from our equipment into your house, into your business. That's your fiber. It's not connected to the neighborhood. It's connected to our equipment, and that goes directly from our equipment all the way back to the data center, which I think is in Springfield in Massachusetts. I could be wrong. There's probably a big, ugly building in Springfield, Massachusetts that nobody knows what it is, nobody knows why it's there, and really isn't an address. That's because that's the data center, and nobody should know where it is. So no speed throttling. I know that that's very famous with our cell phone companies today, right? Yeah, it's unlimited data, but once you hit 50 gig or 100 gig, you're going to notice that your phone doesn't work as well. Well, it's the same thing with cable, is that once you get to a certain level of bandwidth use, they're going to throttle that speed down a little bit because their network just can't handle it at that point in time. Whole home Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is everywhere, right? You walk in the door, your phone picks it up, your tablet picks it up. I know when I work from home, as soon as I walk in the door, I can open my laptop, it knows my network, it jumps right onto it. We provide equipment that should cover from a small home to a small studio apartment to a large home. I mean, there might be some extra equipment that we have to install to make sure that you get that, but having Wi-Fi available throughout the house is very important because I think that, and I'm sure there's others out there, but I know that my garage door uses Wi-Fi. My Traeger pellet grill uses Wi-Fi. My pool pump uses Wi-Fi. The lights on my deck, everything uses Wi-Fi. So I mean, there has to be Wi-Fi available everywhere. With us, it's simply included. If you have an area in your home that is dark, and when I say dark, you ever walk? I do. I have one room where I walk. As soon as I walk through the doorway, it's like the Wi-Fi just goes away, and I don't know what it is. It's a wide open doorway, but all of a sudden I can't get any of that. So I've had to add in a couple of extra pieces just to make sure Wi-Fi is over there. Cable is not providing it to you. If you want Wi-Fi coverage for your whole house, okay, yeah, we can do that. But but you've got to rent this piece of equipment. All right. Again, as I mentioned before, no sharing bandwidth with neighbors. This is your connection from our equipment to your house, to your business. It's yours. Use it as you will. No sharing. Friendly local customer service in your own backyard. I know this is not literally, but man, it's pretty close. It is pretty close. Chicopee so our office is in Chicopee, and from Chicopee to Northampton I think it's 15 minutes. Is it 20? It depends. It depends if you can get in the left-hand lane and do 85 miles an hour. It could probably be 10 or 12, but yeah, and friendly to beat the band. The great thing with Gateway is that we are a localized company. And when I say localized is that we have 3 offices right now. We have our headquarters, which is based in Wright City, Missouri. We actually have another one there in Warrenton, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. Here in Fridley, Minnesota, which is just north of the Twin Cities. And then obviously our wonderful office there in Chicopee, Mass. And another one soon that's opening up in Fargo, North Dakota. The great thing about it is that when you call into our toll-free number, and people are so afraid of calling toll-free numbers, I am myself, in getting people to dial 888-201-4339. Okay, I will, but they don't really want to. But the great news about it, amazing thing happens when you call our toll-free number. One of our great people picks up the phone and says, "Hi, thank you for calling Gateway." So there's no phone tree. You could, press a button in their ear. That'll wake them up maybe, but it is an actual live person that you're speaking to. So if you're dialing from a 413 or a Massachusetts area code, you're probably going to get one of our great representatives in Chicopee. And the same can be said if you're calling from a Minnesota area code, you're going to get to one of our 3 people here, and everyone else is going to get Missouri. They're English speaking. Well, it's Midwest, East Coast, so it's close, but it is English for the most part. But you can talk to it and tell them what's going on and make sure that you're to the right spot. All right. Cable, as talked about, or some of our competitors, you're down and hopefully get somebody that you really wanted to talk to. The simple, transparent. If you go up to our website and see 1 gig is 90. Is it 90?
90. Yeah.
I'm sorry. My forte is commercial and multi-housing. So residential, I want to make sure that I'm not speaking out of turn. But yeah, $90 per gig. The great news about that is that that's the price. The government, bless their heart, and I know not hearing that too much these days, but the government, bless their heart, has deemed that internet connection or internet service is a tax-free service. So when you get your bill from Gateway Fiber, if you're having gigs worth of service in your home, it's $90. There is no tax. There is no motor rental. There is no installation fee. So it's $90. On the business side, our entry point for a gig is $200. And the reason for that, commercially, there's a higher priority for repair intervals. It's also a higher priority for when you're calling in. There's also some capabilities that we can do on the commercial side that we don't offer on the res, like the options for static IPs for cameras or point of sale systems. All right. Again, simple, transparent pricing. No install fees, no equipment fees. We don't charge for install. Our wonderful techs will come out, install your service, make sure it's working right, and there's no extra charge for that. We don't have motor rentals. We just don't. We don't believe in it. The other side of it too is that, and it's not in here, but the annual customer loyalty fees we talked about previously, we don't have those. I don't think that we've had a price increase in 6 years. 5 years? All right. I've been here for 2, and the prices have been the same. And that's from day of install to 2 years later, you're still paying the same price. We just, no reason to do that. We've built our network. Your network's there for your use. We're charging you a competitive price for a great product. No reason to send you a customer loyalty fee every year. And then more binge watching, less buffering. So we talked about the buffering there. So how does it work? From light to lightning speed. So fiber internet is light. So speed of light. So how fast is light? Well, can you turn off the light and make it to your bed before the room goes dark? If you can, I'm sure the government would like to talk to you because that's super, super fast. But our internet traffic connects right to the global web. And as we discussed, that's probably going right to the main data center there in Springfield. I believe that's where it is. Middle mile, that's realistically what we are. We connect, we're the combination of the middle and the last mile. So the middle mile is, I think in Massachusetts, is it National Grid? Is it? Appreciate that. So we are connecting. Okay, so we all realize that fiber has been a thing. Companies have been installing fiber optic lines for years, decades. For those who remembers the Sprint commercials? I can hear a pin drop. Remember we were they were burying fiber across the oceans. And I do recall the Sprint long distance commercials where there was a visual of somebody dropping a pin and someone on the other, did you hear that? Yes, I did. So, I mean, that was fiber. We've been doing fiber. Fiber has been installed within our country and the world for years, well before we came along and decided to make sure that people could get it. The last mile, I'm sure if you drive around Florence, Northampton areas, you'll see some pretty large boxes attached to poles or near poles. You'll also be able to see the ever popular green pedestals that pop up out of the ground in neighborhoods on people's lawns. That's not us. We're going overhead, and I believe that our cabinets are attached to the poles themselves so that they're not you're not seeing those things run over or kicked. Or I've seen a couple here in Minnesota, we do everything underground. So I've seen a couple where it's been ran into, we put it back, or the cable companies or phone companies will put it back, lots of duct tape, lots of green garbage bags around them to keep them dry. And then internet access, the fiber line runs from the pedestal or from the pole in mass and to the house, to the apartment, to the business. And from there, it connects to a small device. It's actually 2 devices. One's called an ONT and optical. Yeah, I'm going to Rich Haley, you're on. So I used to know what ONT stands for. Optical something. That's where the fiber comes in and we convert to internet. And then
optical network terminal.
Thank you very much. Who was that? Nate, Friendly IT. Fabulous. And then from there, it connects to our modem. And the modem itself is the one that turns that fiber signal into internet connection for you and your business. And from there, we can connect it into switches or to Wi-Fi. We can also connect it in if it's there for phone service. Also VoIP, VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. Again, that's for businesses. And some homeowners are actually moving to pieces of that too. So this is an example of our modem. It can be installed outside or inside. It converts the fiber signal into internet so you can use. And then this is what we call a mesh router. So if we need to create a larger Wi-Fi circle to encompass your home or business, we may opt to provide you one of those. And then we use a software called Plume Home, or for a business, it's called Workspace. And this is actually an app on the phone. You can make sure that, so for Nate, our Friendly IT, we can actually help. They can set up QoS or priority of service. So if you got a particular office or a particular device that should have to make sure that no matter what, that one needs to stay working. As long as there's an internet connection, that one needs to work. So we can help businesses kind of set up QoS or prioritize
Can I
bandwidth.
actually ask you a question about QoS?
You should-
Um, is the QoS, there's Zixel routers,
Yes.
yeah? Is the QoS actually worthwhile? Because many routers have issues with QoS, trying to guess at how to prioritize the network traffic coming through them, and they don't do a good job.
Yeah.
And broadly speaking, I'm disabling QoS more than enabling it. I don't have any experience with Zixel routers. I'm familiar with them, never worked with them. How have you found the quality of service features to work?
So from a business perspective, I haven't. I rely on my tech and engineers to do that. But I know at my house, the QoS works great for me from the Zixel is because I mean I love my wife and I love my daughter, but my internet connectivity I think is more important than theirs. So I make sure that the QoS is turned on to my the extender that I have, and I know that they've had some issues where I haven't. So I've been able to work. I've been able to watch TV, whatever the case may be. So on a very small scale, I find that it does work appropriately. On a larger scale, I don't. I don't have that information.
Okay.
But if
No
you're
worries. Thank you.
deactivating it because of, I'm assuming that's with others and not necessarily Zixel. And again,
No, I've not worked with Zixel before. I'm trying to understand because like on a lot of other routers, a lot of residential routers, especially, nothing to do with your equipment. That's why part of
right.
why I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I generally find that other routers don't do a good job at understanding how to actually effectively prioritize network traffic on devices, and so it ends up leading to lag or
Sure.
buffering on certain devices, things like that. So I usually end up just disabling it. Typically, I find it's unnecessary, but it's a good idea and concept.
Right.
You know, if you say, "Hey, my laptop needs a good connection," well, meeting, you know, it's a
Right.
nice idea,
Right.
but I find because it is a device by device basis. So I was
Right.
curious to see your
Yeah,
experience.
I would. I'd have to dig into that a little bit more with Zixel because Zixel is actually that modem router is one that we've only had now for
2 months?
I think 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Is it?
I think it's only really 2 months. So
Oh,
I know for our routers, I know we tried a new one because we had a lot of people complain about the other router, probably for the same reason.
Mm.
yeah.
So we don't have too much feedback, at least from the marketing standpoint, about this particular router yet.
Well, can I ask what you were using before?
I think it's Calyx. I think they were Calyx that we're putting in.
That
Right.
sounds familiar.
I haven't even heard of them. So that's all right. Yeah.
They were the ones that you could plug into the wall.
Yeah,
Um,
the mesh
yeah,
routers were
I don't like
that were
Hmm.
those.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of those.
Right.
we weren't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate the question. Really sorry I wasn't able to give you a little bit better answer.
Oh, you're good. Thank you. Great.
And then meet Gateway Fiber. You're not so average local internet provider. Like I said, there's a lot of us on here, and truly, and it's rare. Like I said, I've been in this business for 20 plus years. I worked for a company called Quest back in the day. And then they merged with or got bought out or aggressively taken over. I'm not really sure how it worked out, but we became CenturyLink. And then from there, I moved on from CenturyLink and I went to work for Comcast or Xfinity and wasn't overjoyed with that one. And I moved over and started working for Charter or Spectrum. Even did about 90 days with a company called MediaCom. So I've been with a great number of providers and a lot of providers, obviously within corporate America. And Gateway, from a company perspective, is just not that even close. We are not corporate America. We rely on our people to be the face of Gateway Fiber. The service that we provide is learned from years of understanding what shouldn't be done. I can share with you, I think the very first commercial meeting that I went into with a company here. It's a nationwide contractor. And I walked in, the director reached out and said, "Hey, we'd be interested in talking to you about Gateway Fiber at our business." So, okay, great. So we made an appointment and I popped in. At the meeting, he says, "Oh, by the way, my boss wants to join us." So in walks the CIO for a company called Egan Construction. And this guy shook my hand. He goes, "Appreciate meeting you. Let me tell you why you're here." So like I say, I've been with many others, and usually those conversations don't go well. But and I sat down and said, "Okay, bring it on." And he says, "I got to tell you, I had signed up for residential service, and I know that you're not up yet, but I was just kind of looking for an update." He said, "So I searched the internet, I could find was your toll free number." And he goes, so I sat down on a Saturday morning and I gave myself about an hour. And he goes, "I called it." And he looked at me and goes, "Do you know what happened when I dialed that number?" I says, "We answered." He said, "Yes, they answered right away. It was a great young woman. I think she said she was in Missouri. And she answered my question, gave me the information that I was truly looking for, and some that I really wasn't, but was amazingly helpful." He said, "After 10 minutes, I hung up the phone. I accomplished everything I wanted to." And he said, I came in here Monday, and he pointed to the director and he says, "I told him right then, he says, we need to get a hold of these people, because if this is how they treat some no-name residential customer who can't get service yet, then this is the company we need to do business with." And we really do try. Do we misstep? Do we fall? Yes, we do. But to me, the measure of customer service or measure of customer experience is what happens when things don't go well. That's really the measure of customer service. I mean, because we're all great, as I mentioned earlier. Hey, this internet works great. When it works, it's amazing. But it's those times, hopefully few and far between times where something isn't working properly. What do they do when there's an issue? That's really the measure of customer experience. And that's really what I think that we stand for here at Gateway. Well, that's what I set upon with. And say I cover Minnesota, Massachusetts, and now Fargo. And no, it's really nothing like the movie. But everyone that I've talked to, everyone that works for us and with us, it's the same mindset. What can we do to make this as smooth as possible? Because we want you to be happy with our service, and we really want to provide people a legitimate option for internet, because there have been lacking of those for so very long. I know that in my previous world, many a time walk into a business meeting and comment would always come up, if there was another option somewhere, I would drop you tomorrow. And now it's great because I now can walk into those meetings and say, "Hey, I'm an option." So that's really what it is. So again, fair pricing, no hidden fees, no price jumps, no gimmicks. I don't have any specialized deals. Hey, I got a great price for 3 months, and then we'll send you the loan paperwork to take care of the rest of it. And then from there, the friendly customer service, we're live, we're local, no bots. Our people that answer the phones, they're fantastic. They truly they want to help you out. They want to give you the best internet possible. And they'll chit chat with you on a friendly basis. I know they will, but they don't want you to come in and have to hang on hold to get a problem solved. We want to be able to take what's going on, get it addressed, and get it fixed for you as soon as we possibly can. And then the internet speeds, faster internet speeds, and they're symmetrical. If you order 300 meg service for your home, you're going to get 300 meg downloads, you're going to get 300 meg upload. On a business, like I say, our entry level speed for commercial is 600 megs. 600 meg up, 600 meg down. That's what's critical for our success. And we should have an internet that works all the time, not when it works, it's great. And then how do we find out? Is fiber in the neighborhood? You can certainly scan this QR code. It works, takes you right to our gatewayfiber.com. Hop in your address, and it'll let you know whether we're readily available or let us know that you want our services there. We are ever expanding. We truly, truly are ever expanding. I have been here just under 2 years. I'm amazed at how many areas that we are in throughout northern Minnesota, western central Mass, Northampton, Florence was the first one that we lit. We just went live in Gardner. We are due to go live in Field in a couple of weeks. I have more to come. You're not done. I love going to Massachusetts, so I told my boss, as long as we got Massachusetts, I'm your guy, and I will go out there as often as I possibly can. I will share that I do love the Hotel Northampton. We call it Grandma's house. It's just the way it feels. Okay, I have talked way too much. For my sales reps that are on the phone, please don't ever talk that much during a sales call.
You had a whole hour,
So
Jim, so that's good.
All right, so I'm going to throw it out there to the masses. Amanda, do we have any questions that kind of queued?
Yes, I'm going to ask the most obvious question, the one that we get the most. When are you going to get to people's neighborhoods? How do they know when we are available there if we are not yet?
Great question. So I'm going to reference our website many, 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 many times. So if you go to gatewayfiber.com and it says availability, and as you click that, you can pop in your address and it will let you know if we're available. Sometimes if it says you can put in a pre-order or a pre-sale, that means that we're building. If it says let us know that you're interested, that means that we're not building. But that doesn't mean we're not coming, because like I say, we're not done in Massachusetts, not by a long shot. I believe it's a 3-year build to start with. So I know that we've got phase 2 Northampton starting very soon and phase 2 Gardner starting very soon. And according to my dear friend in market development, Brian Johnson, for those who know Brian, he did tell me that it's safe to say first half of 26 for phase 2 Northampton, phase 2 Gardner. Okay, so, and you can check, again, go up to our website, gatewayfiber.com, and check availability.
And then, Jim, if you go to the previous page with the QR code.
Yes.
Like the back arrow.
Yeah. No, that's nope.
Yep. If you scan this QR code, you can also enter in all your info, and we will only email you when we are available at your house.
Yes.
So we don't email promos. We don't email anything except for when we are available for pre-order.
Now I can share I can share a web page, right, on this. Folks, I don't use Zoom, so I apologize.
You can just keep that open, and just click a plus side for a new tab. Or do you already have the site pulled up?
I did, but it's okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Here we are. Check it out. Look at that. And pop in your street address, and it will let you know. Watch this. North Maple is a huge, not huge, multi-tenant business development or building that we're working with. And it says, let's get in touch. So anytime that if there's a business address, you'll get this prompt that says, let's get in touch. It will encourage you to fill this out. These come as a business service inquiry to me, and then I provide them to our friendly neighborhood gateway salesperson. All right.
We do have a question from our lovely friendly IT, Nate. So I did reach out to somebody who does more residential, but I'm going to ask Jim to see if he knows as well. But can you clarify if Gateway Residential is dynamic IP, even though it's a dedicated line, or is it static IP?
That's a great question. So yeah, it is, at the outset, it's going to be a dynamic IP. We do provide the option for static IP for businesses because those generally have to go for like POS or point of sale, or if a business is hosting their own email server. And I'm sure that cameras these days probably don't need a static IP, but cameras, if someone's doing security or something like that, they want static. But to your question, residential is dynamic IP.
And I also did get a response back as well, Nate. So the fiber is the dedicated, as we're saying, but you can request static at additional $10 per month for that.
And I have just a question that I've been asked. If somebody lives in a neighborhood that has underground,
Mhm.
should they still go in here and put in their inquiry?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, yep. Still the same inquiry process. We are probably moving to, as you know, Jen, we're probably moving to more and more underground as cities are starting to get rid of poles, just because poles require maintenance. Well, maintenance.
And I just
And
get asked question all the time. And so
yes.
people, there are neighborhoods that are interested in pursuing that in our future. And so I just wanted them to know that this is the place that they can go to put in their address and get
Absolutely.
information.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do
And
know
I'm
that
Jennifer.
we are planning to provide service to underground as well in Massachusetts. So I do know it is something that we are working towards in
Yep.
Northampton. Okay, let me see here. I do have another question for you, Jim. What about TV? Like what if I have cable TV and how do I break that bundle?
Get that all the time. TV is such an important part of all of our worlds. And I don't think it's going to go away. The great thing about it is right here on the Gateway Fiber website, click on streaming TV. We list everybody. So we are not affiliated. We're not, you know what I mean? We're not trying to promote any streaming service out there. So that's why you're going to see all these names flash across because we don't want to show favoritism. But if you keep toggling down, you can, number one, check availability for internet. And then you can actually go in here and find options for streaming. And if you go in here, we do work with a company called My Bundle. And My Bundle was started just to help folks break the cable, cut the cord, so to speak. And realistically, if there's any channel out there that you currently enjoy with your cable service, there is a streaming option available, which means that you can ditch the cable box. And I say that in all fairness, but when I was a cable subscriber, I think the one thing that just got me every single month was reading the bill and seeing that I was paying for the service every single month, but then I also had a number of boxes that I was renting. So I'm paying you for my service, and then I have to rent the box that gets me your service every single month. But by ditching the cable and moving to a streaming, you can go to a Roku stick or a Roku box, Roku stick, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick. There's quite a few out there. And if you go through our website, it will actually help you go shopping so you can go through here and tell it what's important to you, what's available to you. And these are quoted, these pull right from these companies' websites. Again, we're not promoting any of them. We're actually looking to promote all of them. So me personally, I've been using YouTube TV for about 7 years. It provides me a very similar cable experience without the cable pricing. It also allows me to see the NFL games because even though I live in Minnesota, I'm not really committed to Minnesota. The Vikings.
I also know from the New England standpoint, Hulu Live covers all Red Sox games, Patriots games, any, Celtics game, anything you can name it. Hulu Live is the one that I suggest and recommend over here.
Bruins are on there too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yes, TV is an option, and actually TV is a great option when you have a solid constant internet connection.
Perfect. I have another question for you, Jim.
Sure.
Um, is Gateway Fiber dependent on the utility companies, as in, do we lean on using their network to deliver our fiber?
We do not use their network. We do use their power. So where our main equipment is located in Florence, Northampton, we are using their power. So we're not using their network per se. It's our network. We build it from scratch, from the ground up. We connect, make sure it gets back to the main data center so that you have connectivity. But it's our fiber on the poles in Northampton, Florence right now. Some are underground, not very much, but it's our fiber into your house. We're our network. We built for it.
And I think that is really it for the questions today. So
Awesome.
Jim, if you want to say a little closing and then
Sure.
wrap it up.
So again, Katie, I know I've talked with you and I've had coffee with you, great spots. I have loved interacting with folks in Western Central Mass. I love being able to bring a choice for internet service. If you ever have any questions about what we do and how we do, we're there. You'll see our trucks. The phone number is clearly printed. If I happen into your business, if you don't have time to see me, that's fine. But a wave and a smile is all we need. I've got great people there. Amanda makes sure that we are into almost every event. I know my calendar is blowing up every other day with invites to these events. And I truly wish I could come out to all of them, but my wife and daughter demand that I stay here too. But the other side of that is truly from the heart. Gateway is just a different kind of internet company. We want to earn your business. We want to earn your loyalty. We want to be that company for everybody. Providing you an option is really what we do. Our competitors are our competitors. I'm not going to win every deal. I know that, but I do know that if someone brings their service to Gateway Fiber, we're going to treat you as if you were the only customer we ever had, and that's the way it should be. Calling us, you get to deal with people, not robots. And you're not a number. Each one is incredibly special to us. And that's businesses, that's residential, that's multi-housing apartments, you name it, we can bring internet to them. And if we're not, honestly, you can chat with, so I have two commercial sales reps on the call with me, Ed Philbrook and Tom Ginza. They know I don't like the word no. I don't, if someone says, can I get internet? I don't like to say no. I will reach and push and claw and try to do everything we can to get them internet. And rarely do I have to say no. More often than not, it's not yet. And I would leave that with everybody. So again, I'm heading out to Massachusetts next week. Looking forward to seeing Katie. I want to stop in and say hi, just for a hug.
No coffee this time?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We could definitely go to coffee. Yes. But Amanda, appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Katie, always wonderful to partner with the chamber and the downtown business development group.
Well, thank you so much for presenting this information. I know that we've gotten a lot of questions through the chamber since you are members, and we've, made connections. There have been businesses that have already hopped onto Gateway. There have been people who've met Gateway through our events and have put internet in their homes through you before you were available at their business location. So it's definitely a community organization in terms of how you interact with everybody. We love that you're showing up and participating in Northampton and beyond. These events are so important to what we do and how we make sure that people feel informed, which is a big reason why Florence Bank helps provide the funding for these Link&Learn series. I'm really thrilled to be a part of all of this with everybody. And looking forward to seeing you when you're in town, Jim. And I'm
Absolutely.
very familiar with the Gateway Gang, and I think you've landed in the right community for how you like to do business, because I
Yeah.
think it's been well received here.
Yes, we get that as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
You got
Kate,
it. Thank
for
you all,
having me
and
here.
I appreciate
Thank
having
you.
everybody. We're gonna take
Make it a
this
great
one
day.
on, taking it away. Have a great afternoon.